Welcome everybody to this to my first live webinar. Um, the Zoom software is quite a special interface, but it's really practical when it comes to share knowledge and ideas. And it seems like it's the new paradigm where we would share through the web and without being in the presence of the people. I'm very new, so we might get lost in technology sometimes. Just bear with me as much as possible. The whole point of why I'm doing this, maybe I'll go down in a little bit in my history so you understand why I am so passionate and into sharing those physical breathing exercise. Why the body actually is so important to me. When I was young, I remember very early age, I was always asking my mother, can we do things differently? You know, whether it was about the way we would take to school, whether it was about what we would eat. I was always wanting to have more possibilities. Hello, Mireille, welcome. And to the point where she started to name me, my mother, the diplomat of change. So in a way, I was not satisfied with this world, you know, with what we see, what we taste. I believed there was something more. Then later on, as I grew up, I started to challenge my body. I remember like going bungee jumping and making some breathing experience where you would hold your breath very long and fall into a kind of a coma state. And I realized there's a dimension of the body that was very mysterious to me. So that's where I became a dancer. And as a dancer, I started to challenge myself more on an emotional way, exposing my feeling on stage and actually being very vulnerable. And I still felt I don't get it. You know, there's a something else to understand. And that's where I started to work with the master plans in Peru and in South Africa. And that's where I discover another dimension of the body, which is, I would say it's more the space, which is beyond the body. And along that path, by using my physical body, my emotional body, and my spiritual body, I realized how much they are actually linked in one space. And there are some ways to interconnect them and the way to make it safe for us to experience more of our body. And that's what I want to share with you today here. I am preparing an online class, which is very simple and very practical to help you deal with some basic things. Like, you know, some days you wake up and you feel stuck into a limitation or an emotional state. And whatever you do, you carry it around the day. And I realized that in 10 minutes, there are some exercise that I do now and I want to share with you. I could change my state, but it took me like 40 years because I'm just turned 41. And to understand how we can do it in a safe and appropriate way. So I don't want to speak too much. I want to start immediately with you by maybe we start with the body. I'm going to share with you here 3 modules, one about the body, one about the breath, and one about the space. But we'll start always, and in everything I teach, whether it's retreats or ceremonies or dance class, I always bring back people to their body. Because we mostly we think we are in our body, but we so much in our head or so much in our thoughts, or even not here, like people are dreaming about something else. And I find it so important, whether it's a meditation or it's a physical practice, to come back to the body. So let's make a little experience together. It's very simple. We're going to use our hands. And basically, to come back to the body, I hope there's nobody watching you around so that you feel safe to be a bit exposed. It's very simple. As soon as we touch our body, somehow we feel. And I see some people trying to reconnect with their body from their head, but they still stay in the head. So it's like, you're in the control tower and you try to feel it, but you're still like, oh yeah, I know, I can feel my leg, I can feel my arm, but we feel it from our head actually. So this exercise, I will show you first and we will do it eyes closed, is by using our hands, and we can start like to rub them like that. And if you're less on the side of the producer of the movement and you're more on the side of the feeler, the perceiver, you'll start to sense some heat. And you can go between the fingers and behind. So basically, if you really go there and feel it from your hands and not from your head, you start to decentralize, and we'll start to tap the body like that. And really go for it, because it's quite a solid thing. And we're actually tapping, when you tap under and above the arm, you are actually activating some meridians in your body. And you go to the other arm. And really be at the place where you feel this touch, where you're not the one doing it, but you're sensing it. And you might get a little bit physical and breathe, and it's fine, because we're starting to move out of the comfort zone. And now we're gonna tap on the head. And this head is so much used as a thinking center or control center. Right now, it's just a resonant chamber for your little touch. So basically, we remember, that's my head. I know, I think, I use it, I plan, but it's also a device that feels. And you can go through the face, which is very sacred in our society, but you can even go there, and I invite you to kind of change the shape of the mask of your identity, of who you are, like having some freedom to be a bit monstrous or to be strange or to have some more possibilities. You remember, as a child, I was asking my mother, is there other possibilities? And we have not only one body, we have many bodies. Let's get down here to the chest. And as we tap here, we have here the thymus. This gland, part of our immune system, can give us a boost of energy. So if you're really tired, just come here under your sternum and tap it for 5 or 10 minutes. You will get a lot of energy back. And we keep going down on your belly. The belly is, for me, a great friend. It's a place where I go every time I'm too much stuck in my head. And going in the belly means to feel it. And right now what we're doing is we're creating a stimuli, so it's easier to go there. We don't have to push it from our head. It's kind of an active meditation where you would use your hands to call your presence and your consciousness in that space. And if you breathe and if you feel tired, it's normal, it's fine. We are getting in the body. The belly also have a back. And super important, you can stand if you need. Here at the back, when you kind of tap up and down, you'll see a change of sound. It's going a little bit deeper. And if you play around this zone, this is actually exactly where your kidneys are. The kidneys are filtering your blood on the mechanical level, but on the traditional medicine, Chinese medicine approach, those are the source of your powerful energy. So as you stimulate them and as you feel them, super important, it's not just about doing it, it's about sensing it. You'll start to reconnect with the source of energy. And now we'll go down on the legs. It's a bit difficult here. I want you to tap out and in, up. Tapping out of the leg and in, up. Going down and up. Yes. And up and the other leg. Nice to watch you guys. And it's very simple. It's not fancy, it's not elegant. We're just using our own hands to feel the body and back to sitting. We're just gonna finish here at the belly, just by turning, and maybe if you close your eyes, you already have a sense of, a clear sense of where the body ends, of your feet touching the floor. We've been actually activating all the frontiers of the body. Sensing where the skin stops, where the bones are. And as we slow down this movement in the belly, just listen. Like a bell that we've been ringing. Just listen, and it's a cellular listening, like your body is an ear. So can you feel your legs from your legs? Can you feel your pelvis from your pelvis? And it might be more easier now that we've activating the body. I call that an activation. That was a very gentle one. We can do it many ways, and I teach it differently in the course too. But sometimes to come back in the moment is as simple as reconnecting with the body with the help of your hands, to feel it, to touch it, to sense it. And as every model that I teach in this course, I always bring people into a physical exercise and then into a meditative exercise. And I always introduce it with the proper knowledge, from knowledge to practice in the body to the mind and the space. So that's, maybe someone wants to share his feelings, or how do you feel after this little very simple exercise? I'll be very curious if something has changed. Just unmute yourself and tell me. Mireille, you want to say something? Mireille, I'm going to help you and unmute. Yeah, you can speak.
I can speak?
Yes.
Yes. I have been very busy all day. I didn't stop 1 second, and now I feel just as if I had an hour meditation.
Great. Well, it's actually what I felt when I discovered those tools. It used to take me maybe an hour or two, even a week to change my state. And I realized that in 10 minutes, or 15 minutes, 20 minutes, I could be in a complete new state. This one is very basic. We're going to go into the breath, which is a little bit more challenging. So bear with me, because online you might need to adapt a little bit. But I'll make it so that everybody has a proper experience. Anyone wants to share also his feeling? How do you feel after this really simple tapping body exercise?
Sani
Yes.
wrote awake.
You feel awake, Denise?
Sani said that.
Sammy, feel awake. Yeah, Denise, I don't hear you.
Do you hear me now?
Yeah, yes.
I feel a lot of prickles all around the body now.
Yes, yes, great. As we going to move into the body and we're going to bring more consciousness, there might be some uncomfort, or you call it tickling, it could be bubbling. Some people call it the unknown. Suddenly you'll have a different perception of your physiology, of your inner world. And as we start with the physical body and we learn to release it, later some emotions, some feelings can come in the game. And it's another level of the work which we enter now with the breath. Okay, so breathing. We start our life with breathing. We come on the planet, and the first thing we do, there's a big intake and a scream after that. I don't remember my scream very well, but I've been sensing it through a different approach. I've been working on like rebirth or plant medicine. But it's amazing, like every master say the secret is in the breath. And I'm always wondering like, why? Yeah, okay. I breathe every day and I don't even realize. The breath we're going to use is not a breath to balance at first. It's a breath to activate. So we will bring a lot of energy in the body through 3 types of breathing. It was inspired by Wim Hof. Wim Hof is called the Iceman. He's been using the breath to control his immune system and actually stay without breathing for, I don't know, his record is like 10 minutes, like very long time. And he discovered that this type of breath, which is an active breath for 2-3 minutes, and we might do a little bit less for this group because some are discovering it, followed by 2 breath retention, holding your breath. 1 breath retention will be empty lungs, and 1 breath retention will be full lungs. And during those breath retention, what happens is that your attention that we brought to the body will dive deeper. Will dive deeper into your physiology to reach the oxygen that we've been storing by this deep breath. As this happens, they measured it scientifically. Your consciousness is getting closer to the autonomous system, which is the healer within you. There is a system also called the neurovegetative system, which is very active at night. You know, when you fall asleep, actually it's like, all right, he's gone, let's work. I can do some stuff because he's not blocking me on with his fear of the belly or fear of the heart. So we can actually restore, detox, the whole process that goes at night that makes us feel fresh in the morning. So what if we could tap into that a little bit more consciously? So this one is a little bit of a challenge because we're going to bring a lot of air and energy in the body. If you think of a river and you have some stones, meaning your blockages, your tensions, your fears, we are going to increase the stream power. And some stones might go on the way without even noticing. Some other stone might be more present, but we'll be focusing on raising the stream of energy in our body. Very practically, it goes like this. We'll use mainly what I call the complete breath. Complete breath is this. I put as much air as possible in my lungs. And I relax. And my body is telling me when it's full. We normally breathe 20-30% of the lung capacity. As I was just doing this, I feel my face becoming a little bit more warm, and I open the window because I'm a bit warm. And you might feel like Denise, many different type of feelings. It will tickle in your body. It will move. It will be itchy. You might need to clear your throat because we're going to do around 20 of those. And we will alternate between those 20 breaths with other breaths to help yourself detox and release some CO2 and other toxins. The first one is called the dog breath. It's not very elegant to do, but you just have to pull your tongue out and breathe like a dog. So that's the dog breath we'll be using. Hello, Mariciera, welcome. That's the other breath we'll be using between the complete breath. We're also gonna use the breath from the nose, which when you know in yoga called the breath of fire. When you focus on sending the air out, this breath is used to bring yourself down. Every time you focus on the out breath, it's kind of relaxed. Even if it's an active breath, you'll feel more. We bring the energy down because we don't want to feel too much in our head, because you might feel a little bit dizzy also because of so much oxygen in your body. But we want to spread that energy, and that's why we've been awakening the whole surface, so that when we breathe, this energy is going in the body, that the attention we send in the body will be followed by our energy. And that is a mantra of neuroscience that many people are sharing today, like Joe Dispenza and Bruce Lipton, that the energy follows attention. And that's why we awaken the body. Now we're going to bring energy, and this energy going to go in all our organs and muscles and everything in ourselves that we need, and not only our brain. So if you feel a bit dizzy, it's a very good information. Maybe you might be too much in your head. So that's why if you feel that it's too dizzy, you can lower down the breath and touch your belly, or just make sure, you know, by tapping your legs or your body, that you're not too much here, over there. So let's start. For those that have been joining, like Marie, just dive in, welcome. You understand, we've been doing some body work, and now we do a breath activation. It's a challenge, so I'm gonna push you a little bit to go out of the comfort zone. If you feel tickly, if you feel, ooh, move a bit, if you, whatever your body needs to do, we're gonna give it more energy. Okay, so you can look at me or you can close your eyes. This is no difference. Let's start with the complete breath. So we bring as much air as possible in our body from the mouth, and we relax in the out breath. And you go on at your own rhythm. And you let your body tell you when your lungs are full. When you can feel if it's tickling, if it's making you smile, or a little bit challenging, just go for it. We are bringing more energy in the system. You might be yawning too. Yes, and you can use your arms to follow that breath with the body. And really relax at the exhale. Full lungs. And you might get warm, you might get dizzy a little bit. We are shifting your state. And keep going. Don't let anything lower the intensity of your breath. And now let's go in the dog breathing with the tongue out. Really bring the tongue out. Very good. I can check on the video. Very good, Sven. Very good, Anne. Very good, Jordan. And make sure you don't move your whole body. You just need the belly. Yeah. It's a bit challenging. Let's keep going. And big breath, big intake. And again. Yes, Anne, very good. And again, everything you can take. And if you feel a bit dizzy, it's okay. If it's tickling, it's normal. And let's go from the nose now, out. Yes, you can yawn the knees, very good. And big intake. You might feel different and weird, it's okay. Keep going, big intake. Everything you can take in your body. And again. Okay, 3 last one, as much air as you can take. It's a challenge, go for it. Yes, Annie, good. You will feel so different at the end. Last breath, everything you can take. And we empty the lungs. And we're gonna stay empty lungs in a breath retention. Just go after this long type of breathing, holding your breath, empty lungs, and just feel your body. It's full of energy, full of oxygen. And you don't need to breathe because you've been storing oxygen, and it helps your consciousness to dive deeper. And relax your face, your jaw, your brain, your thoughts. And you will feel this instinct, your limbic brain and reptilian brain wanting you to breathe in and try to relax with that because you have enough oxygen in your body. And for those who need to breathe in, you can take a big in breath and stay full lungs. But for those that can still hold it and dive deeper into your body, into your physiology, into the tickling, into the sensation. And feel this quietness coming from the depth. With a very relaxed and lazy body, and lazy belly, and lazy brain. Till you breathe in. And if you breathe in, for those breathing it, like then make a big breath retention, full lungs. And feel how all the oxygen is reaching every cell of your body. And that's the power of this exercise, that it's going to reach all the cells of your brain, of your bones, of your skin, of your muscles, of your organs. And I can see still some people holding their breath, and it really, in that state, your job is to relax. I know you're holding breath. I know your reptilian brain might be asking you to breathe, but it's not a championship anyway. It's just for you to feel, as you feel the call from inside, the instinct kicking in, and you can consciously connect with your depth. And that's where you can reach to more energy and more balance. And for those who have finished, you can breathe normally, of course, like always. I don't know how long it was, but it's like maybe 3-4 minutes, and I'm sure you feel different now. Does anyone wants to unmute yourself and give me a short feedback of was it challenging, was it difficult? Do you feel a different sense of presence, or you're more quiet, or you worry less about your video and how you look on it, and whatever. Caroline or whoever wants to say something. Marie. I'm going to unmute yourself. Yeah.
Yes, a lot of calm, very calm.
Yes, yes. Was it challenging during the process of breathing?
No, I love it. I
You,
love
you, you,
challenges, you know.
Okay, okay. I made here a way that we don't fall into a cathartic state. For me, it's very important. It's not about shooting us into the astral body or completely out of ourselves. When I talk about reconnecting to a body or when I do retreats, it's really to do it from the safest place possible. So I don't want to shock your body, but still, I'm pushing you to bring more energy. And what we did right now is just one cycle. So we've been breathing a lot and then having 2 breath retention. In the module, I'm going to teach, we do it 4, 5, 6 times, and we do it on the belly. We do it in the fetus position. You do it sitting straight, laying down on your back, because it's going to stimulate your physiology in many different ways. It's like a massage. And a lot of people, after the 4th or the 5th time, you get your digestive system starting to work back again, or suddenly you have ideas coming in. When I do it, I always take a notepad beside me, and immediately I start, when I overcome my limitation, my resistance, and my monkey mind and my frustration, I'm like, oh, but I have to do this and do that. You'll get clarity, and it's just by breathing. So this is a massive and very important exercise, how much we can change our state with our breath. The same way our breath adapt to our body work, to whether we do sports or whether we become emotional or we become intimate, the breath follow. But if we work the other way around, we can use the breath to change our states, to be more awake, to be more connected. And the breath retention really pushes you to dive deeper. As you don't take the oxygen from outside, you'll be using the one that is stored. And I don't know if you had, for any of you guys, a journey there within you as you close your eyes. Some people like sometimes say, I lose the perception of time. I lose the perception of the real world around. So that's super important, because we very busy with our phones, with our computers, with advertisements, with people. And like Mireille say, you have a day and your attention is being spread all around, but maybe not here on your body. So as we woke up the body, for those just joining in, we woke up the body by the touch first, and we went through all the body for quite a long time so that you start to be present to your physical self. Then we were breathing right now quite intensively, and I see people yawning. Yeah, nice to meet. It's okay, it's part of it. Some people burp, some people fart. I mean, you are all mute. You can do all the sound you want, don't worry, unless you have some friends or family around. The body starts to, it's able to do its work. It has enough energy to process whether physical stuff or whether emotional stuff. And we'll only do one cycle here because I don't want to take too much of your time. Yeah, it's already 34 minutes. And we'll dive now into the 3rd model I want to share with you. From the body into raising our energy into space. So the 3rd model is space. I like to say space is a healer, but it's a very abstract for people that are not used to that phrase. Let's say, as we connect to ourselves and to our physiology, we are tapping into our inner world, but it's not the complete picture. Now science starts to discover there is an energetic body. They call it a field of energy, of consciousness. They can measure how much there are informations, their energy, which is beyond your body. And if we only center in our body, we can be limited, or robots, or not connected. And you meet some people and they have like great intuition and super instinct. They do the right thing at the right moment. And you're like, how do you know that this is gonna happen? They're actually tapping into something which is beyond smelling, hearing, tasting. Yeah, they connected. They have the right ideas at the right moments. They're flowing with whatever information is beyond their own digestion, their own breathing. How do we do that? Great question. For years, I was trying to get it from my head, you know, like trying to see what's behind the card that someone ask me to guess what is there. We need to be super relaxed first. And that's why we've been awakening the body. And like Caroline said, then you feel quiet. So we need to be in a quiet space. In the module, I always teach people first to come back to their body, to raise their energy, and then go in space, to expand in space. Practical exercise for that. Let's go practical. If you rub your hands gently like that, we're not anymore like trying to make fire like the first exercise. It's more a sense of the surface. And you can close your eyes while you do that, because I want you to dive into your hands. You are hands touching hands. I know most of us are in our brain or in our head most of the time, but even now, even if it's just 5% of you more in your head, that's fine. And you can sense the texture, the temperature. It's like you're listening from one hand to the other. And as you really let yourself time to feel from your hands, just give a tiny, tiny more space between, like tiny less pressure. Maybe it's just very superficial friction. But you still there. Maybe you put a little bit more space, and it can be a memory of that friction, or it can be actually you sensing something invisible, some sensing energy. And for those who I know are already quite acquainted with perceiving space, you can give more distance between your hands, and it might feel like magnetic or density, whatever your body feels through that space. You are investing your attention and so forth, your energy, into what's between your hand, into that portion of space. And if you kind of lose it, because it's not what we're trained to do, we're trained to be here and I'm there, but I'm not in space, you can come back to touching your hands. Yes, and I see people dancing already. Beautiful. And just to know that as you do this, this is vacation for your patterns, for whatever is repeating in your brain. You're investing your attention into something else, into something that is beyond your physical body. And we know that with love, you know, you can have tremendous feeling and experience connected to something that is outside your body. Or if you're very hungry and you start to look at someone cooking, you know, your body will react. We do actually are all the time connected to space. They're beautiful. Yes. Now the science is discovering that this space is full of possibilities, full of energy, full of potentials. I will not dive into this because I do it in the course. But you are right here, just with your hands, tapping into infinite or more possibilities. Remember, as a child, I was telling to my mother, can we do it differently? Is there other possibilities? I didn't know. I was quantic already. Like I wanted all possibilities. Yes. So this is with our hands, just the start of feeling the space. Yeah. Beautiful. And in your mind, in your perception, it's become real. It is actually, there is an intelligence there. And I followed the workshop with Joe Dispenza, that was 3 years ago, and I made a brain test. When I focus on my body, I could see maybe 5 or 4 connection. When I focus on space, there was like 100 connection. All my brain got illuminated. By this, I mean the space awareness was connecting with the speech language, was connected with the awareness of the other, was connected with sensory motorship. Everything was connected. So being connected to your body is super important, but we need to tap into the intelligence of what's beyond our body. And that's a field of intelligence. Some people call it the aura, the soul, the field. Whatever is for you is just to know when you start to tap into it, you'll be more coherent. You'll be more connected. Yeah, people are dancing. Does anyone wants to share? Rina or anyone wants to kick in and say, how is it? Marie, yes?
Well, I wanted to talk about this point of when you say we tap into the
Oh, I can't hear you.
larger field. Like I was just feeling. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Like now there's, I don't know how many people in the call, and I felt even, you know, through your words and the presence that we share, I could feel into this larger field outside of just my own like space experience in this room, but somehow this larger intelligence that is non-local.
Yes, yes. Beautiful.
And I feel this is like we're training for a phenomenon that we're just seeing how it's emerging, but now I'm gaining empathy for all of you at the same time when I don't know you. So it's just, I just wanted to, you know, raise that as I think it's a new skill we're building.
Yes, completely. Yeah. Thank you. Beautiful. Rina, you wanted to say something too?
I think it's the first time that I ever touched my own hands like that. Like ever. I've touched my hands and I've rubbed my hands and like I've done the magnetism that I felt from a part, but I've never like so slowly like touched my own hands, and it started to feel like tingling, but it's like sparkling. Like I've never felt that feeling before. So it was really new and it felt like magic. It really did.
Nice. Oh, I have to say, and I understand you, Rina, totally, that doing it alone is something. And now, like you said, Marie, doing it in a group, I also felt very different somehow. We all bring our energy. Now we're like 13 people. That's why I really, even if it's not online, it seems it has an impact. Of course, I love to do retreat in real with people. But already here, that's what we could afford today to connect online. It already make a change, and we do affect that field. That was the space. I would like just to do that experience that we did with our hands, to do it with our hearts. So you cannot really rub your heart against your heart. Well, we could try, but or at least I like it's important sometimes, like we tend to think, people think of the chakra of the body, and actually you see just the surface, or you forget you have a volume, and as we've been doing it with the surface, when we do it with the heart, it's really important to feel that this volume that we've been like stretching with the breath. And I use my hands when I do it. I put them here, or wherever it feels right for your chest. And let's go into it. Again, I'm going to guide you, and you can close your eyes. And you will feel your hands on your chest or rib cage. And we slowly move the hands away from this volume. So by doing this, there is we need to be a little bit daring to feel bigger, to be moved or to be touched. As your hand starts to invite actually your presence into a bigger space of your heart. Your heart is so big, it can embrace people, it can embrace a group. And that's what we call a family, is when people are sharing same heart space. And consciously, of course, they don't think about it, but the love they share is actually allowing other to exist in their heart space. So that you feel you kind of perceive, even if it's vibration or energies or maybe a sense of peace, or not much. Some people just feel like some peace, and that's actually great, just peace, that you perceive, that you try and you train your heart to perceive beyond your body. And it does it all the time. And your intention is to be in that space, all around you, not only to the front, but also to the back. Like if the space of your heart, the same way we did it with the hand, can listen to a bigger space. And you might feel that the breath become easier or different. And feeling 360 degrees around your heart could be unconditional love, where you allow everything to exist around you. Especially you, the way you are with this body in this moment. And even if you feel like nothing much is happening or you're stuck in your head, you're actually investing your energy and your attention into this practice. And I've seen magic with people opening their heart. And whether it's 5% today or 200% tomorrow, the consistency of keeping intending. Some days I'm too much in my head, so I start again from the body, into the breath, into the space. And I made those steps very simple. Right here, I'm just sharing with you the basic. But in the course that I'm going to put online, that's going to be ready in 2 weeks, I go more in details, and we open all the spaces in the body. And you can try also here maybe to open the space down in your belly. It's a little bit like letting go of the protection. We all put some kind of walls. And it's to take the challenge to be moved, to be a sensitive body, to be to to be touched. And some people might get cold during this process, or might get skin raising, how do you call that? Chair de poule. In this moment, your body, we train your body to become an antenna, not only a writer, not only a dancer, not only a journalist, not only a cooker, but an antenna for feelings, for vibrations, for energy, for new possibilities. In that space around us is much more than just one idea or one possibility of you. That's what the dancer is doing, is connecting to possibilities around. Yes. Very nice. So as you're in that state that we awaken the matter of our body, we raise its energy through breathing. And there are many other ways that I'm going to share in the course, in the online course. When we raise that energy, then we can open. And when I say reconnect with the body, is like open that gate for you to perceive more of this world, that are not only in matter, that comes in sensation and emotion and feelings and in pictures. You know, when you open the same way we did with the heart, and you open the third eye, you can have then perceive images. That's where this place in the middle of your head creates pictures during your dream. You can activate it also consciously. Just to finish this, just bring that space back, because sometimes being closed or is also important to protect, or actually being sealed. That's what I call it, and I'll share it with you in the course, where when you seal your aura, you can still perceive the informations from the outer world, but you're not affected. And that's the job of your aura, is actually to protect you from this unneeded energy. So bring it back. Bring your hands back to your heart, so that we bring it back into the matter. And slide it down slowly to the belly, so that we anchor that space into this body, into the singularity of you today here. The same way as we breathe, like we gain more space, and then we come back. All right. I see people stretching, yawning. Sometimes people get tired, very tired, because there was some tiredness in the background. We've been doing also medium slow. In the course, I push you more, so some emotion can be released. Basically, then you can have a morning ritual with that. And it's not made to be exactly like that. You can adapt it to your needs. But I found that whatever physical exercise you do with the body, whatever energy you bring in, and whatever space you connect, those are like three most important components. In the course I want to offer you, I teach a 6-week class where during 1 week you practice one exercise, so that you learn progressively to implement this knowledge in your body. I always share the knowledge before, because once you know what an exercise can do, you actually create the possibility for this action to be to happen. I'm passionate about it, so I want to offer you here a possibility to join this course that I can only teach to 10 10 people maximum, because there's going to be some online model like videos, but I also want them to work individually with each one of you guys, to have a time to chat about where in your body is it blocked. That is not only addressing, wide issues. So this has been for me the last 40 years of my life, to bring that into very simple steps. So I'm investing a lot of time, but I don't want to make something that is too complicated to reach or too expensive. So I wanted to make it like as cheap as possible, so that you guys can connect from wherever you are. You get the information, you see the video, the knowledge, and then you go into practice. And after that, we tune in. We could have a one-to-one session like this here, and talk about what's the problems, because there are specificities that I don't teach in the course that apply to different type of people. Some people are more air, some people are more water, some people are more earth, and depending of that, the course can take different color. So yes, I'm curious to hear some feedback. Is anyone wants to share about the heart or what happened? I'd be curious to hear. Sami, you want to say something? I heard you. So you're moving.
Yes, hello. I think that was indeed very simple, but very powerful, very overwhelming, because I've done some Kundalini and breath exercises before, but still it's not like you just follow sets, and you sometimes you don't really be able to feel this, to be on this moment, and it was very, very good.
Great.
I think you approached it very well, and thank you. I feel just I could just control how I will be connected, and yeah, very much. Thank you.
Oh, beautiful. That's the whole part of the work for me. And I've been working with the master plants a lot, and maybe you guys know about it. This is those shamanic plants that help you go deeper. I don't believe that is made for everybody. So in this course, I want to share the safest way to bring you to a sense of unity or a sense of connection, and where you become the healer, the creator, the connector, the inspirer. So I want to give you as much as information and tools, but as less, so that you have the capacity to grow into that. Hello, Sebastian, welcome. People are joining. Anyone wants to share also? People are just in bliss already. Anne, I think is writing. I have to read what Anne is writing. Converser. Thank you for sharing that. Where is Anne? Okay, she's right. Okay, I'm gonna get your text. And before we finish this meeting, just to let you know, it's gonna be available. This class is gonna be available, I think, in 2 weeks, because I'm setting up all the things around, and it's asking me also to work on videos and to put a lot of work. So I managed to bring this course down to 27 euro, which is, I think, it's nothing. And I'm wanting to offer you that for you guys, especially that you come to this first chat. I'm going to put a link in the chat so that you can connect to the system. And if anyone has questions also, I would be very interesting to know if you still feel unsatisfied, or if you want to know more, let me know. Yeah, Mireille? I have to unmute you. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just reading what the other wrote.
Yeah.
But for me, it was the first time I felt like if I had a ball in my hands. Air was so thick, I was feeling that I had some basketball made of air.
Yeah.
And when I did it with the heart, it was like if the heart was the center of the ball, and it was really wide. So it's really a discovering. It was a kind of magic.
And you felt it around your physical heart, because I saw you kind of showing it to the left side, or you felt it also around, we call like more the heart of the body here, the chakra of the heart.
No, I felt it everywhere I put my hands. When I put them on my head, it was like if it opened the space in my head. It was a sphere. My head was the center, the sphere. And after that, my hands followed my body, and they could create this space everywhere they could go. So it was nice.
So this is just a teaser, you know. I'm just teasing you here with some a little bit of information. I found it's the best way to let you know about what I do. So if you're interested, really, I'm gonna send the link in the chat so that you can join in. Like I told you, it's a course normally that is much more expensive, but I thought I want to put it out and to have as much people practicing it. And this, you can do it everywhere, from your house, on your phones. You can even have it on your phone, you know, in your train. And I want to bring a lot of different practices that I discovered that you can do while driving, or while in the bus, or while walking, so that you don't have only to take time to retreat from the world, but it can come into your walk. I don't know, 10 minutes walk to the work, no problem. There's a 10-minute meditation, walking meditation, for example. Yeah, I'll be very curious to hear. Anne, what did you say, Anne? It's amazing how connection can be reached with other people around the world. Yes, yes. I agree with you. I think we're done here, unless someone wants to add some more information or sharings. Denise, you're online, I think.
Yeah, I just want to say that I feel much better now than when we started. Really, one piece of person. I was like sliced.
I don't hear you.
Now I'm like a whole. I feel like a whole.
Open, yes, yes. Yeah, and you know, I would say just 5 years ago, it would have taken me maybe a day to change my state. And now with very precise exercise, I realize in 10 minutes, I can let go of something that is heavy or something that blocks me. And it is not complicated. It is not about understanding everything in your head about the situation. It's really to reconnect to the capacity of the body to process the energy and information. And actually, I really like the word understand in English, because to understand, you really have to stand under. And whether it's under God, under your head, under your thoughts, under your brain, it's going to be under. So it's going to be in your heart. It's going to be in your gut. It's going to be in your legs. And you need your whole body. And I've truly believed that if you don't involve the body in the game, that you miss a big part of it. So I'm gonna make you dance in this module, guys. That's the whole point. You know, I already saw some hand dancing, but when you start to feel that space, you know, like children, they're like just running around, and the space is moving them. And when you touch by space, and you can call it grace, you can call it elegance, you can call it love, you start to be moved, and be moved by emotion, or be moved into physical practice. You start to be connected, and somehow things becomes very simple. So yes, that was it. It's like, wow, an hour of 4. I was supposed to do 30 minutes, but I got so excited. I went all the way. Thank you, everybody, to be here, share, practice, and give your time. I think I'm going to be doing more of that, so I'll keep you informed. In between, if you want to know more, you can always contact me through email or through Facebook. And I'll be happy to share some more information about the next steps if you want to be part of this 6-week class. online. So yeah, thank you very much, guys, and have a nice evening. And I can all deactivate, so now we can all speak and say bye-bye if you want, because everybody can speak now.
Thank you so much, Mathieu. Thank
Pleasure, Sven. Pleasure. Ciao.
Thank you, guys.
Now,
Ciao, Sunny.
I'm
Ciao,
so
Oli.
hungry now.
Bon appétit.